Daksha Purivajagacharya Shtadharishara Samachara Abhacharnanara Binda Bhakti Vedanta Shami Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda Shamaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shishinita Gaur Ishtanath Pramanandi Hori Hori Boo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dharma Prji Kaitava Atra Paramani Namatsanam Sataminam Ashnava Shivanam Tapatrai Unmananam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamane Krite King Vaipada Ishra Saddhariri Avaruddhate Atra Kriti Bishtakshana. Is the Srimad Bhagavatam? Yeah? Srimad Bhagwatam. Canto, chapter. Vidya tapabrata dharan mukhatashma vipran pramatma tattvam avitum pratamam tang ashrak tad brahmanam paramasharava pipatsupashi palapasham eva vivo pagrinita dandaha. Vidya, learning, tapaha, austerities, brata, vows, dharan, the followers, mukyataha, from the mouth, shma, was, vipram, the Brahmins, Brahma, Lord Brahma, atmatattvam, self-realization, abitum, to disseminate, pratamam, first, tvam, you, ashrak, created, tat, therefore, brahmanam, the Brahmanas, parama, oh great one, shardaba, oh, pipatsu, in dangers, pashi, you protect, palaha, like the protector, pashun, the animals, iba, like, vibho, a great one, pragrihita, taking in hand, dandaha, a stick. Translation and quote by ISKCON founder Acharya Ishi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. My dear, great and powerful Lord Shiva, you were created first from the mouth of Brahma in order to protect the Brahmanas in pursuing education, austerities, vows, and self-realization. As protector of the Brahmanas, you always protect the regulative principles they follow. Just as a cowherd boy keeps a stick in hand to give protection to the cows. Purport. The specific function of a human being in society, irrespective of his social status, is to practice control of the mind and senses by observing the regulative principles enjoined in the Vedic Shastras. Lord Shiva is called Pashupati because he protects the living entities in their developed consciousness so that they may follow the Vedic system of Varna and Ashram. The word Pashu refers to the animal as well as to the human entity. It is stated here, Lord Shiva is always interested in protecting the animals. Very good, very good, very good. And animalistic living entities who are not very advanced. We should always remember that Lord Shiva is being addressed as the representative of the Supreme Lord, Vishnu. In the Vedic literature, it is described that the Brahmanas are born from the mouth of the universal form of Vishnu, Kshatriyas are born from his arms, Vaishyas are born from his abdomen or waist, and the Shudras from his legs. In the formation of a body, the head is the principal factor. The Brahmanas are born from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in order to accept charity for worship of Vishnu and to spread Vedic knowledge. Lord Shiva is known as Pashupati, the protector of the Brahmins and other living entities. He protects them from the attacks of non-Brahmins and uncultured persons who are against the self-realization process. Another feature of this word is that persons who are simply attached to the ritualistic portion of the Vedas and do not understand the situation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are not any more advanced than animals. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagwatam, it is confirmed that even though one performs the rituals of the Vedas, if he does not develop a sense of Krishna consciousness, then all his labor in performing Vedic rituals is considered to be simply a waste of time. Lord Shiva's aim in destroying the Daksha Yajna was to punish Daksha, because by neglecting him, Lord Shiva, Daksha was committing a great offense. Lord Shiva's punishment was just like that of a cowherd boy who keeps a stick to frighten his animals. It is commonly said that to give protection to the animals, a stick is needed because animals cannot reason and argue. The reasoning and argument is argumentum ad baculum. Unless there is a rod, they do not obey. Force is required for the animalistic class of men. Whereas those who are advanced are convinced by reason and argument and scriptural authority. Persons who are simply attached to the Vedic rituals without further advancement of devotional service or Krishna consciousness are almost like animals. Lord Shiva is in charge of giving them protection and sometimes punishing them as he punished Daksha. Mukam karadi bachalam bangam langate girim jakrapadam ham vande Shri Gunam Dinatayam. Persons who are simply attached to Vedic rituals without further advancement of devotional service or Krishna consciousness are almost like animals. Mahaprabhu is explaining to Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada in Prayagraj, Dharma chare modhe bahut karmanishto, that he's explaining that how rare is the human life. He's explaining how rare is association with the Vaishnava. First of all, just to get the human body, it's not that the other bodies are more popular. Jalaja Navalakshani, Stavara Lakshavinshari, Krimaya, Rudra Shankya, Pakshinam Dasha Lakshanam, Tringsha Lakshani Pashava, Chatu Lakani Manushaha. 30 lakhs animals, 11 lakhs insects, 9 lakhs aquatics, Chatul Lakshani Manushaha, 4 lakhs human species. So even amongst all the living entities, the human form is rare. 8,400,000, 8 million, and only 400,000 human. Amongst those, Mahaprabhu is explaining, most of them are not even on the human platform. Most of them are uncivilized. Most of them are uncivilized. And he says that even those who claim to be theistic, they simply say that, but they perform all types of sinful activity. And those who are actually dharma-nishta, it's very rare to find someone who's dharma-nishta, actually has faith, dharma-nishta, has faith in the Vedic literature and follows properly. That's very rare, Mahaprabhu is explaining. And he's explaining that dharma-nishta modde, bahut karma-nishta. Bahut karma-nishta. Amongst those who have faith in the Vedic literature, most of them are karma-kandis. Karma-kandis. At best. No, it's very rare to find a genuine karma-kandi. It's very rare. Because the common people, even though they may have some faith in God consciousness, but they're not following properly the karma. They're not, to begin with, the varnashram dharma. In order to be karma-nishta, in order to properly follow the Vedic ritualistic injunctions, in order to enjoy happiness in this life and attain svarga loka in the next life, one has to follow properly. One has to follow the varnashram dharma to begin with. So who is following the varnashram dharma? Where are the Brahmins who are subsist yadricha lava shantushto? Krishna explains, Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter. Yadricha labha shantushto. Who are satisfied with gain which comes of its own accord. No. That's you will not find. Everyone is endeavoring, even the so-called Brahmins, they're endeavoring to acquire wealth. They're endeavoring for that. They're desiring that, whatever it takes. Even, in fact, in the varnashram system, a Brahmin, he cannot be employed. He cannot be employed. He cannot have a job. That is, in the varnashram system, if you have a job, if you're employed, that means that's a Shudra. It's a Shudra. That means that you're employed, you get the paycheck, chakri, yes? In chakri, you're employed. It's finished. Even 500 years ago, Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, they were actually rejected from the Brahminical society because they took employment. And for that reason, they never entered the Jagannath temple. Did you know? Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they never went inside Jagannath temple, along with Haridas Thakur. Because, what was that? Dina Jati, what was that? Dina Jati Jina Shange Potid Odhom Kubishai Kupe Goinu Kubishai Kupe Goinanu Jonom. They introduced themselves to Sri Sachinandan here in Ramkeli and Prayag and Varanasi, the places where Sri Sachinandan met with Rupa and Sanatana. Nicho Jati, when they introduce themselves. Generally, Prabhu is about to introduce. He says all the good things. He said this, that, all the good things. But what about the bad things? Why don't you say that? All the bad things. They're there also. When Rupa and Sanatana came before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they didn't say, oh, look, they're ministers of the government. They're ministers of the government. They're very learned scholars. Nana Shastra, Bichara Noika. Bichara Noika Nipono. Nana Shastra, Bichara Anaika. They're expert in analysis and study of various Shastras. Nana Shastra, Bichara Anaika. Nipuno, very experienced in the study of various Shastras. Satdama Shangstapako, so learned, so qualified. When Mahaprabhu returned to Jagannath Puri, having met Rupa and Sanatana in Ramkeli, he was explaining to Garadha Pandit how impressed he was with their humility. That these two brothers, they're so qualified in vidya, in learning, in buddhi, in intelligence, in bol, in strength, and they're expert managers. They're learned in scriptures. They're very intelligent. and they're very learned. However, they consider themselves more actually lower than the grass in the street. That's their, that's their conviction. That quality attracted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so much. It impressed him so much, the quality that they were so qualified. In ISKCON, we introduce ourselves with great humility. Oh, Prabhu, I'm the most fallen. I am the most unqualified. But actually we are. It's not difficult to be humble when you're full of kichu nahi pai. Jokata bichar, when I examine myself, kichu nahi pai. I find nothing of value. Toma kuruna shar. Only your mercy is valuable to me. Kuruna nahoile. If you're not merciful, kandiya. Simply crying, prana naraki boar. I will no longer maintain my life if you're not merciful to me. Thakur Bhaktivinoda is explaining. Vaishnav Thakur. Jokita bicha kichu nahi pai. Toma kuruna shar. Kuruna nahoile. Kandiya. Prana naraki boar. I will no longer, what's the point without your mercy? What's the point? I have nothing else. Nothing else in my life is of value apart from your mercy. Shashi Sachinanda and Gaushundur, Sachi Kumar. He was so touched by the humility of Rupa and Sanatan. He was constantly remembering that. Even it took 6 weeks to return from Ramkeli, to return again along the banks of Maganga, through Gaudadesh, Odia, Utkal, and again he arrived back in Jagannath Puri. It would have taken at least 6 weeks. And upon arriving, immediately he's glorifying Rupa and Sanatan to Gadadha Pandit, saying he's so much affected by their quality of humility. Aaj hoite tomanam Rup Sanatan dhanna chada, toma dhanna fete mormon. Today we're initiating you in the name Rupa and Sanatan. Dhanna chada, give up your humility. Toma dhanna fete mormon. Your humility is breaking my heart. Breaking my heart. So we're so proud. We introduce ourselves with such with such details. How much we've done this and that. But actually, the quality that attracts Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and impresses him is humility. He's attracted to that. He's attracted to that. That yashashti bhakti bhagavat akinchana savai gunas tatra shamashate shura. By practicing Bhagavad Bhakti, yashashti bhakti bhagavat akinchana. By practicing Bhagavad Bhakti, savai gunas tatra, savai guna shamashate shura. The divine qualities of the Dev Devi, Lord Shiva, the divine qualities are developed in the character of the Vaishnava, and this attracts Krishna. This attracts the Lord. Praptasya kallana guna anubhasha bande guroshi chadana ravindo. Praptasya kallana guna anubhasha. The mercy by associating with the spiritual master. Praptasya kallana guna. We acquire good qualities. Guna anubhasha. He's an ocean of good qualities. Because ultimately we're all associating with the Doya Shagor, the ocean of mercy. Doyalu, Doyamoy. Krishna Boro Doyamoy. So merciful. And the most, Param Karuna, Pahudui John, the most merciful, Param Karuna, the most merciful, Param Karuna, Pahudui John, Nitai Gauchon. Shab Avatar Shar, the cream, the essence of all the avatars. Shab Avatar Shar, Shiromani. Shiromani, the jewel on the head of all avatars. Kevala Ananda Kanda, because the process of Krishna consciousness is so blissful. Where is the comparison? The Shadan, the tapasya. We're performing the tapasya. Parikrama, Sisi Radha Damada, Nita Gaushundur, Jagannath Baladev Shabhadrama, Parikrama. We're performing parikrama. We're dancing we're dancing like crazy fellow. We're dancing. Where is the tapasya? Dancing, laughing, sometimes crying. Kirtan Korite Prabhu Sharva Babu Doi. Oh, when Gaudhari would perform the kirtan, all of the symptoms of love of Godhead would erupt. Kirtan Korite Prabhu Sharva Bab Udoi. Sarva Bab Udoi. All of the symptoms of feelings would erupt. Sarva Bab Udoi. Stamba, Kampa, Pulakasra, Gadgada Praloy. Stamba, he would become stunned, just like these columns here. Could you move the column? Could you move? It's going to be there for hundreds of years. Stamba. He would become like a column. Stamba. Kampa. His body would be quivering with love of Godhead. Quivering. Udilo Aruna Purababage Dijamani Goda Amani Jage. Purababage. In the eastern side. Have you been Navadip Dham? You've been? You've seen the sunrise in Navadip? It's very special, the sunrise in Navadip. It's very bright, very powerful. Udilo Aruna, the reddish Aruna, Purababage in the eastern division. At that time, Dvijamani gold, Dvijamani, the crushed jewel of the Navadip Brahmins, Dvijamani gold. Amani Jage, he gets up. Bhakata Shamoha Laya. Bhakata Shamoha, taking all the devotees with him. Bhakata Shamoha. Gelo Nagora Braje, he goes out into the Nagor and towns and villages. I spent several years in East Bengal, Purba Bengal Bhumi, preaching Krishna consciousness. A great fortune to be able to preach in Gaudadesh, which was specifically Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In general, we hear Priti Biti Ache, Priti Biti Ache, Priti Biti Ache all over the world. Priti Biti Ache, Jota Nagoradi Gram, the towns and villages, Sabatra, Procha, Hoibe Morna, the preaching of my name will be in every town and village, everywhere. Mahaprabhu, he wanted holy name spread all over the world. Prabhupada ki. He wanted holy name spread all over the world. But, and when he visited Dokhin Bharat, Kurma Brahman, Kurma Stan, Kurma Khetre, Kurma Dev, Kurma Brahman. The place is called Kurma Khetra. The deity is Kurma Dev. And the devotee's name was Kurma Brahman. Have you been? Anyone been? Kurma Khetre? Oh, special place. Oh, have a desire to go to Kurma Khetre, a special place. And now it's easy. You can go on. There's a road. You can take a train. Chennai, you can take train. Visakhapatnam, you can take train or you can drive. But when Shachinandan, when he was walking through the hills of Andhra Pradesh, and those hills, that's where Hiranyakashipu's soldiers, they threw Prahlad off the mountains. That's the place. Simachalam. That's the area. Andhra Pradesh, the mountainous area. And they're walking. And so many of our extraordinary, eminent acharyas visited that place. Sri Shankar Acharya, Sri Ramanuja Acharya, Sri Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And you can see the Sri Gauda Padakamo, the lotus feet of Sri Sachinanda installed at that place by Sri Srila Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Sri Sachinanda and Gaudhari, he visited that place. The first place he visited on his tour of South India. We visited that place. We went into the temple. Not so crowded. We went straight in, the deity. When that Brahman, Sri Vaishnav Brahman, so traditional. Maybe he's never even been to Hyderabad or Chennai. So traditional, Brahman. Is there. When he saw me, the white skin, he saw the white skin. There's a rare phenomena there, white skin. The Vaishnav he saw, although we're Vaishnav aparadi, but still we have the symptoms of Vaishnav, which gives joy to the heart of the of the sadhus. We saw the Kuntimala Tilak, When he saw me, immediately he raised his arms. Jari dekho tari koha Krishna upadesh. Amar aggai guru hao tare desh. He's quoting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Kulma Brahman. He was ecstatic. So Mahaprabhu, he wanted the holy name spread all over. And he personally traveled in Dakshin Bharat preaching Krishna. However, Mahaprabhu had special interest in Gauda Desh. Special interest. Everywhere holy name spread. However, particular concern for Gauda Desh. They would journey to Jagannath Puri every year. For that reason, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was remaining in Jagannath Puri. For that reason. When in Shantipur they inquired from Sachimata what to do. From Mahaprabhu's, from his own lips, Shannashara Dharmana Hey, Shannash Koriya, Nija Janmashtane Rohe Kutumbalaya. It's not the duty of a sannyasi, Shannash Koriya, having accepted sannyas, Nija Janmashtane Rohe, to remain in one's birthplace, Kutumbalaya, surrounded by family members. So make some arrangement where I can follow the principles of sannyas and not be criticized. Sachimata was saying, oh, it's so painful that you're gone, but it will be more painful if I hear criticism of you. So what to do? You have to leave. And Sachimata was suggesting Jagannath Puri, Oriya Goria, like 2 rooms into one house, Oriya Goria, Odisha and Bengal, 2 rooms in one house. Tamrasha, Paro, Gamon, Agamon, you can all come and go, she's saying to Mahaprabhu's intimate associates. Tamrasha, Paro, Gamon, Agamon, you're all able to go and come. And in that way I will hear about his activities. The first thing Sachimata said when she was brought on the palanquin from Mayapur, she was brought on palanquin to Shantipur. Shantipur Prabhu ki! Because of his association where we're remembering Shantipur. She was brought on the palanquin, and when she was brought in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she saw him as a sannyasi. Oh, Goshandor, Nimai, Sachikumar, Sachinandan, his beautiful long black hair, his shaven, his beautiful dress, his ornaments. When she saw him, first thing she said, do not do like Vishwarup. Do not do like Vishwarup. He took sannyas and we never heard anything again. So in this way, you go to Jagannath Puri, you stay in Jagannath Puri, you come and go. You can take shelter of Bangshi Dari, Jagannath Shami Ki. I think yesterday or the day before, Subhag Swami Maharaj said, Jai Go, Shai Krishna, Jai Jagannath. Jai Jagannath. It's the same. Jai Go, Shai Krishna, Jai Jagannath. It's the same. Who is Krishna, who is Go, is Jagannath. Same. So you go to Jagannath Puri, there you can take shelter of Nanda Dulao. You're all able, Tomrasha, Paro, Gamon, Agamon, you can all come and go. Ganga Shnano, Tad, Hobe Agamon. And he also may come to Gauda Desh to take bath in Ma Ganga. Banchakalpa Taro, Shi Gauda Shundor, Janabira Banchar, Punnakori Nirantor. The Banchakalpa Taru, the desire fulfilling, Banchakalpa Taru, Shi Gauda Shundor, Janabira Bancha, the desire of Ma Ganga. Ma Ganga ki. We're so far from Ma Ganga here, huh? How far Ma Ganga? Janabir Bancha, the desire of Ma Ganga. Punnakore Nirantor. Mahaprabhu is always fulfilling the desires of Ma Ganga. So Sachimata, Ganga Shnanao Habet Aragamon. He will also come again to take bath in Ma Ganga. And he does return. After sannyas, Sachimata was able to see Gaudhari 3 times, each time in Shantipur, each time. So for this reason, Mahaprabhu was residing in Jagannath Puri, and he said to Nityananda Prabhu that, "Oh holy man, do not come to Jagannath Puri every year. Go the Gauda Bhaktagan, every year they would journey from Navadip, Adi Shaptagam, Kulinagram, Gauda Desh. They would all gather in Shantipur, and along with Shivananda Shain, they would journey by foot. They would walk to Jagannath Puri in order to participate in Jagannath Shami Ratha Jatra Maha Mahotsav, and then remain for the 4 months of the Chaturmasya in the association of Shri Sachinandan in Jagannath Puri, performing Sankirtan. This was the reason why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was remaining in Jagannath Puri, in order to have the association of these Antaranga Bhaktagan. Brajendra Nandana Jai Shachi Shuta Hoilo Shai Balarama Hoilo Nitai. The Brajabashis, they all appeared in Navadip Dham. In Vrindavan, they're all appearing in the Gopa Gopi Gon, cowherd boys, cowherd girls. Those Brajabashis, they all appeared again in Navadip Dham, in the houses, in the families of Brahmins, in order to associate with Sri Sachinandan in the Navadip Lila. And they did not recognize each other. Just like today we're discussing Lord Shiva, Mahadev. He's Advaita Thakur is a partial manifestation of Lord Shiva. And Mahavishnu and Shivash Thakur, Narad Muni. But they're not recognized. They do not recognize each other. Lord Advaita Thakur, he's not saying to Shiva, "Hey Narad, hey Mahavishnu," hey. Completely covered, Jogamaya. And Mahaprabhu, he ordered Nityananda Prabhu, Nityanande Agyadilo Jao Gaudadeshe Anargal Prema Bhakti Koraho Prakashe. Nityanande, to Lord Nityananda, Agyadilo, he ordered, Jao, go to Desh, go to Bengal, go to Deshe, Anargal Prema Bhakti Koraho Prakashe. And without restriction, Anargal Prema Bhakti Koraho Prakashe. You reveal, you preach, you propagate love of Godhead without restriction all throughout Bengal. So Mahaprabhu, he desired that all over the planet the holy name be spread, but he also had a particular desire that Krishna consciousness be spread in Gauda Desh. So I was very fortunate to be able to preach in Gauda Desh and receive the blessings. Sri Sachinandan. Only Guru Kripa. Only Guru Kripa. Even I was devotee and I had no idea about Bangladesh. I had no idea. But Guru Kripa was given special treasure. So we've spent many years there. In the morning, in Kartik month, we would do this Nagar Kirtan, Bhor Belai, and it's a sunrise in the morning, Kartik month, through the villages. It's very sweet. Here, preaching in the cities, we do the Kirtan, you're on the roads, the trucks are there, the buses, a police blowing whistle, the people, get out, the people come behind you. In India, the vehicles, they use the horn. Actually, the horn, the purpose of the horn is in a warning. It's emergency warning. In the Western countries, it's rarely used. There's different function in India. It's used first to express frustration. Express frustration and to intimidate. I also have vehicle. We're driving there. And sometimes you're driving on the road, and a person coming this way, and as they go past, they beep the horn to intimidate. So here we're on the Sankirtan, and sometimes they're very obnoxious. Devotees there, and they come behind with motorbike. They're just there. It's obnoxious, but even in Mayapur, in a campus, I see our devotees. The pilgrims are walking, and they come behind them. what is this? This is ISKCON World Headquarters? So anyway, Shankirtan in the garden, in the village. Very sweet. And the people, they would come, and the householders, they would give rice, different kinds of rice. Atok chal, Shuddha chal, Miniket chal, different types. And all collected in one bag. And that rice would be cooked with Mahaprabhu Priya. That rice collected from begging, Mahaprabhu Priya. And we would collect, and sometimes they would put chair in the village, a chair, a race. Look at that, like for kings and queen. It's called Guru Gram Ki. Guru Gram Ki, it's like kings and the demigods are coming here to take darshan of Sri Radha Madhav, Sri Radha Namuna. And they would bring the people, they would come and they put chair in the courtyard, a chair, one nice wooden chair made by the carpenter, maybe only one or two chairs in the whole house. They're not using the chair. They sit on the cot, and then they sit on the piece of wood for sitting, taking prasadam. Mati ghor. Kichu Bangla bole আপনারা বুঝবেন? Mati ghor. And they would come and they put chair. Now, doya kore ektu boshun. And they were doing the kirtan. They come and see us. They go put chair. And I said, doya kore ektu boshun. I want you to sit, because they know the Bhagavat Siddhanto. They know that Yeshang Shang Shmarama Sudya Shadya Shuddhanti Vaigrya King Puna Darshana Sparsha Pada Shoch Arshanadi Bi. If you offer a seat to a Vaishnava, Yeshang Shang Shmaranat Sadya Shuddhanti Vaigraha, the whole house is purified by remembering a Vaishnava. King Puna Sparshana, by touching a Pada Socha, by washing the feet of a Vaishnava. Pada Socha Arshanadi Bi, offering a seat to a Vaishnava. This house, all sins are purified. Offering a seat to a Vaishnava. They offer a seat. They would force us to sit down, and then having one sit, and immediately they would come with some refreshment. Rajgula, or Nimbu Pani, or Kichu Pol. This is Gaudiya traditional culture. And so it was very sweet. Mahaprabhu would do the kirtan like that in the morning. Udilo Aruna Pura Bhavage. Preme Dala Dala Shonara Anga. Shonara Anga, his golden body. Preme Dala Dala. Dala Dala is quivering with love of Godhead. Preme Dala Dala Shonara Anga. Chodane Nupura Bhaje Mukunda Madhava Yadava Hari Bolena Bolo Re Bodana Bod is the preaching of Shri Sachinandan in Navadev Dham. So in the kirtan he would quiver, stamba, kampa, quivering, pulakasru, his body would erupt like a jackfruit, pulakasru, boom. Hair standing on end in the kirtan, pulakasru, gadgara, you become choked up, and pralay, the devastation in the kirtan. Today we're hearing the glories of Mahadev, Lord Shiva. How glorious he is. Actually, when he what time of finishing is what? Finishing time? What time? 9:15. Let's hear a little bit about the Lord Shiva. Today we're hearing the special Poshupati. He's represented in Panchatattva. Advaita Thakur is a partial incarnation. That's mentioned by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Actually, when he did return to Bengal, as we mentioned, after journeying to Jagannath Puri, and then Mahaprabhu immediately, after delivering Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he went to South India for 2 years. Then he came back, and then he remained in Jagannath Puri for another 2 years, although he was desiring to go to Vrindavan, but he was kept in Jagannath Puri, not given permission to travel from Ramananda Roy and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And therefore he remained in Jagannath Puri for another 2 years. And then eventually they gave him, they agreed, Mahaprabhu constantly requesting. They were giving various reasons. Oh, now is the rainy season, you can't travel now. Oh, now is the winter months, you can't travel. Oh, now soon the devotees again will come from Bengal, you wait for Rath Yatra. And then now again is the Chaturmasya. And in this way, Mahaprabhu said, enough. Bahut utkanta amar mathura jaite. Bahut utkanta amar mathura jaite. Such desire I have to go to Mathura. And eventually they agreed. And Mahaprabhu said that I will go to Vrindavan via Bengal. Gauda hoite mor dui shamasrai. In Gauda Desh I have 2 shelters. Janani Janabi, a dui doyamoy, Sachimata and Maganga, a dui doyamoy. These 2 are full of mercy. So I will go to Vrindavan via Gauda Desh and meet with the Gauda Bhaktagan, the Gaudiya devotees, and in this way take them with me to Vrindavan. And this is Mahaprabhu's plan. And only through the lips of Sanatana Goswami Prabhupada did Mahaprabhu hear the advice that this is not the way to go to Vrindavan with such a crowd of followers. And Mahaprabhu, he began to reflect on that advice given by Sanatana Goswami and Ramkelly. He carried on a little bit. He went to Kanai Natashala, the next destination after Ramkelly. And there he was thinking that the advice of Sanatana Goswami was very good. And it's not appropriate to go to Vrindavan with such an entourage. People will think I'm an imposter with the soldiers and the bugles and the horses and the band. And there's troops and followers. And I will go either alone or take one assistant. And subsequently Mahaprabhu did. So for that reason, Mahaprabhu was able to return to Bengal. Immediately after taking sannyas, he remained in Shantipur for 10 days. And all the Navadip Bhaktagan, they could come and perform Shankirtan and have association of Shachidulal. He took sannyas suddenly. It was intolerable for all the Navadip Bashis. So they all came to Shantipur and could associate with Bishambar, Dvijamani, Gauchandra. And then he went for Puri, and then he came back again to attempt to go to Vrindavan. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya-lila, chapter 17. Attempt to go to Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu again in Shantipur. At that time also Sachimata came. And then Mahaprabhu, he remained in Shantipur for a week, and then he went along the banks of Mahaganga. He remained in Vidyanagar, Kuliagram, and all the aparadis from when he was performing his pastimes as a grihasta. And Nabadip, who couldn't recognize Udhijamani, the Jugavatar, Shannash Chodamani, the crest jewel of all the sannyasis. They couldn't recognize, they couldn't appreciate, even they criticized. And when he left, then they began to appreciate the actual significance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kali Juge, Jugadharma, Name Prachar, Toti Lagi Pita Borna, Chaitanya Avatar. He's appeared to deliver the holy name to the fallen souls of Kali Yuga. Potit Pabon Hetu Taba Avatar. They didn't understand. They criticized. But later they recognized, and all of the atheists and the smarters and the academics and Shaktas, they all came and received darshan of Mahaprabhu and delivered, along with Devananda Pandit, Gopal Chapal. They were all delivered when Mahaprabhu returned to Bengal, which was 4 years after leaving. He returned 4 years later. And then he carried on all the way to Ramkelly, and he met with Rupa and Sanatan. Aj hoite tomanam Rup Sanatan, and he delivered them from the diversion that they had taken, being engaged in the government of the Nawapushansha. And then again he returned to, and then having heard from Sanatana Goswami, Mahaprabhu, he turned back and he didn't carry on. He was planning on going to Vrindavan all the way along the banks of Ganga. Bhagirati Ganga, actually she splits. Ganga, she splits in Ramkeli. And she goes into Bangladesh. There she's called Padma. So along the banks of Ganga, all the way up Ramkeli, and then to Varanasi, Prayag, all the way to Vrindavan, Mathura Vrindavan. That was Mahaprabhu's plan. But he turned around, still in Bengal, at Karnanatashala, just the end of Bengal, before entering into Bihar. And he came back. And interesting, again, he spent time in Shantipur and Panihati. In Shantipur, at that time in Shantipur again, because Mahaprabhu he journeyed on the eastern bank of Ganga, and Mayapur is on the western bank of Ganga, and so he never returned to Mayapur because it's against the principles of sannyas. He never returned to Mayapur, but Navadip on the other side of bank of Ganga, he journeyed, and at that time. It's many interesting, so many extraordinary leelas were performed in Shantipur, actually. Very special place. So many extraordinary pastimes were performed in Shantipur. Even when Mahaprabhu in the Vidulila, in the Grihastha Lila, he would visit occasion Shantipur. There's one time Advaita Thakur was concerned because Shri Goshunda was constantly showing him respect. Shri Goshunda was constantly showing Advaita Thakur respect. Advaita Thakur, he's a senior Vaishnava, he's the most senior of all the Vaishnavas in Bengal. He says the beard, indicating he's very senior. He has beard. No one else has beard, only Advaita Thakur. Advaita Goshai has beard. He's also from Bangladesh. He's also born in Bangladesh. Srihatta. And he had his house in Shantipur. And Mahaprabhu, one time he went there and he said, Advaita was concerned because Mahaprabhu was showing so much respect. But he wanted to worship Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu was showing so much respect. So he had a plan. So he began preaching the Yoga Vishishta Mayavad philosophy. And he's preaching. And Mahaprabhu heard, he comes, he says, so, Advaita Goshai, what is superior, Gyan or Bhakti? What is Bhakti? Who needs Bhakti? Without Gyan, what can you understand? Mahaprabhu, very angry, he began beating Advaita Thakur. Actually, we began today about how rare is the Krishna Bhakti. I'll go back to that point, and then we'll come back to Advaita Thakur and Shantipur. Mahaprabhu is explaining that Dharmanishta Madhya Bahut Karmanishta. Most of the people who actually have some faith in Vedic literature, they're karmakandis. Karmanishta Madhya Jnani Shrestha. It's very rare to find actually Jnani. Amongst all of it's very rare to find a guy. He says, Koti, and then he says, Koti Jnani Madhya Ekjon Mukto. Out of 10 million Jnanis, it's very rare to find an actual Jnani. Most people just say they're followers and they're sinful. And there's very few people who actually follow. Most of them are karmakandis. Amongst them, it's very rare to find one who actually understands Atma Tattva as Jnani. Koti Jnani Madhya Ekjon Mukta. And out of 10 million Jnanis, there is one liberated person. Koti Mukta Madhya Dulabek Krishna Bhakta. Out of 10 million liberated souls, still you will not find a devotee of Krishna. Koti Mukta Madhya Dulabek Krishna Bhakta. How rare it is to find a devotee of Krishna. Just see what Srila Prabhupada has done, spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. Even the foreigners have become Vaishnavas. This extraordinary potency of Srila Prabhupada. So Advaita Thakur, Mahaprabhu, he's saying, what's better, Jnana or bhakti. Oh, and again, what is the use of this bhakti? Mahaprabhu, he took him, he dragged him by the collar, he beat him, and he's dragged him into the courtyard, he's beating him. Yeah. Advaita Thakur, very ecstatic. Yes, finally now. So at that time, when Mahaprabhu again came back to Shantipur, on the, returning from Gaudadesh, at that time it was the appearance day of Srila Madhavendra Puri Prabhupada, the Guru of Advaita Thakur, Param Guru of Sri Sachinandan. That's why Mahaprabhu was showing so much respect to Advaita Thakur, because he was on the level of his spiritual master, Ishwara Puri Prabhupada and Advaita Thakur, they're god brothers. They're both disciples of Srila Madhavendra Puri Prabhupada. So that time Advaita Thakur happened to be arranging the Vyasa Puja festival of Srila Madhavendra Puri. And he was so, Mahaprabhu began to wander around, and he began to see the arrangement that Srila Advaita Thakur had made for the Vyasa Puja of Madhavendra Puri. He saw rooms filled with rice and mountains and mountains of stacks of wood for the fires. 5 rooms filled with big clay pots for cooking. 5 rooms filled. There were 4 rooms full of dal. 7 rooms with various cloth, kapur. 10 rooms full of leaf plates. Thousands of bunches of bananas. Thousands and thousands of bunches of bananas. No one knew from where so many coconuts had been collected. So many coconuts, thousands and thousands. And condensed milk, shuki candy, oil, tel, lobon. Vrindavan Thakur is explaining that he couldn't even describe. He couldn't even describe. Vrindavan Thakur, he's Vyas Muni. He's Vyasadev. Krishna Lila Kohe Bhagwate. Krishna Lila Bhagwate Kohe Bed Vyas. In the Bhagwatam, Vyas Muni describes Krishna Lila. Chaitanya Lila Vyas, Vrindavan Das. Vyas Muni appeared in Mamgachi to describe the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Bhagavat. So that Vyas Muni, Vrindavan Das Thakur, he's explaining, he's describing. Mahaprabhu was so shocked seeing this arrangement that Advaita Thakur had made for the worship of Madhavendra Puri. Mahaprabhu, Prabhu bole, ei shampati, manushya noi. This shampati, this wealth, this opulence, manushya noi. It's not possible for a normal person to make such an arrangement. Acharya Mahesh henomoy chitaloy. Acharya Mahesh henomoy chitaloy. I think in my heart that Advaita Thakur is Lord Shiva. Acharya Mahesh more chitaloy. In my heart, I think that Advaita Thakur is Lord Shiva. Bujilan Acharya Mahesh Avatar. Advaita Thakur, incarnation of Lord Shiva. Hey Mota Hashi Pru Bole Barba. Saying this, laughing again and again. Advaita Thakur Mahesh Avatar. Advaita Thakur Mahesh Avatar. And then he says that, today we're hearing about Pashupati, Lord Shiva. He says that, Mahaprabhu says, Shakrit Jai John Bole Shiva. Henonam, the one who says the name Shiva. Shekona Prashangin na jani tatta. Even he doesn't know what it means. Shekone Sharvapap Hoite Shuddha Hoy. His all sins are removed. All sins are removed. Mahesh, Mahadev, Lord Shiva. He's saying his name, all sins are removed. Ved Shastra Bhagavate e Tattva Koi. Ved Shastra Bhagavate and the Bhagwatam e Tattva Koi. This truth is explained in the Vedic scriptures and the Bhagwatam. And then he quotes from this canto, from this very Leela. Mahaprabhu quotes. He quotes. And he's quoting how when Lord Shiva when Daksha first insulted Lord Shiva, at that time in text 14 of chapter 4, is chapter 7, in text 14 of chapter 4, by envying Lord Shiva, whose very name, consisting of 2 syllables, Shiva, purifies one of all sinful activities. Lord Shiva is always pure. Heno Shivanam Shuni Jar Dukha Hoy, Shejon Amango Samudra Bashai. One who doesn't become happy upon hearing the name of Lord Shiva, one who doesn't become joyful upon hearing the name of Lord Shiva, he floats in an ocean of inauspiciousness. This is Mahaprabhu's glorification. More Priya Shiva, my dear Bhakta, Lord Shiva, more Priya Shiva, Proti, Anadarja, those who disrespect, my dear devotee, Lord Shiva. Ke mote ba more bhakti hobe taha, they can never get devotion to me. Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains that acceptance of Rudra as the Supreme Lord, acceptance of Rudra as the Supreme Lord is an offense in chanting the holy name. It's an offense, acceptance of Rudra as the Supreme Lord. And one not understanding that he's a devotee. Actually, in Mayapur, Lord Shiva's presence is very powerful. In Mayapur, just next to Nimai Janmastan, just next to Nimai Janmastan, Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he installed Shiva Linga, 2 Shiva Lingas there. And as the protector of the Dham, the protector of the, also in Vrindavan is Mahadev, Lord Shiva, the protector of the Dham. So when you come to Mayapur, you can go to Jogpiti and you can take blessings of Lord Shiva to enter into Mayapur. When you leave also you can take blessings. Here we have Mahadev here. After class I'm going to do Abhishek. I'm ready, dressed accordingly. And in the Satyayuga one time, Mahadev, Mahesh, he was in great ecstasy dancing, chanting Gaudanga, 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 Gaudanga. Yeah. And Satyayuga. And Parvati, she said, "Oh, Prabhu, what is this Gaudanga? What is this Gaudanga? You're chanting Gaudanga. Who is this Gaudanga?" Gaudanga. Jai Gaudanga nama lo tara hoy premu doi. Tare mohi jai boli hari. Jai Gaudanga nama lo. So take the name of Gaudanga. Tara hoy premu doi. It's awakening love of Krishna. Tare mohi jai boli hari. I congratulate them. Prabhupada says, bravo. Bravo. Tare mohi jai boli hari. Jai Gaudanga nama lo. Tara hoy premu doi. Gauranga Nitai, jar bole ek bar. Gauranga Nitai, jar bole ek bar. You chant the name Gauranga Nitai one time. Gauranga Nitai, jar bole ek bar. Ananta karma dosh anta hoita. All sins are destroyed. Gauranga Nitai, jar bole ek bar. Ananta karma dosh anta hoita. Unlimited sins are destroyed. So she's asking Parvati Devi. She's asking, who is this Gauranga? Who is this Gauranga? And from the lips of Mahadev himself, he's glorifying the Chaitanya avatar in Satyayuga. He will appear in Mayapur in a golden form to freely distribute love of Godhead and deliver all of the fallen souls. and Lord Shiva, he says that Mayapur antur bhage janabhiratire, Mayapur antur bhage, in the deep within Mayapur antur bhage janabhiratire, on the banks of Maganga, Gauranga Bajibo Ami, I will worship Gauranga, Rohida Kutire, living in a cottage. So therefore, our acharyas installed Mahadev, Lord Shiva, Shivalinga in Mayapur to fulfill the desire of Mahesh, who desires to Gauranga Bajibo, to chant Gauranga's name and worship Gauranga in Navadip Dham on the banks of Maganga. Heno Shib, Advaiter, Bole Shadu John. Heno Shib, Advaiter. Advaita is accepted by persons as that Lord Shiva. Heno Shiva, Advaiter, Bole Shadu John. Shadu John, they're saying that Advaita Acharya is incarnation of Lord Shiva. Sheha Chaitanya Chandra Ingita Karan, because this was revealed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself in this pastime in Shantipur, seeing the extraordinary arrangement that Lord Shiva had made for, that Advaita Thakur had made for the appearance of Madhavendra Puri Mahaprabhu, recognizing he must be an incarnation of Lord Shiva. So in this way, in Navadip Dham, in the Temple of Vedic Planetarium, which we're planning on opening sometime soon, the Panchatattva is the Ishta Devata of our movement, the most worshipable form of our movement. And in this way, by performing Shankirtan in Mayapur Dham in front of the Panchatattva, we get the full blessings of Mahesh, Lord Shiva, and can progress swiftly on the path of Bhagavad Bhakti. Srimad Bhagwatam ki. So any questions on today's discussion? Namaste, Prabhu.
Prabhupada is explaining in purport like Pashupati means like protector of the animals and the human living entities who are animalistic, and then Prabhupada is telling Pashupati means, then in further purport Prabhupada is telling Pashupati means the protector of the like he is the protector of the Brahmanas. So,
but all of them. Also the Brahmins, also the Brahmins are getting the mercy. Yeah. So many, the Brahmins.
We understand that this understanding is clear to us that Pashu means animal or animalistic, those human beings who are living like animalistic way of life.
Yeah.
But how could the Brahmanas word came?
Dukkito. No further comment. What can I say? What can I say? In the purport, it says the animals, the humans, and the Brahmins. So that's it. What more can we say? I cannot explain further. Yeah.
Thanks a lot for such a wonderful Gaur Katha. Not sure why you say something expressed, but thank you for connecting me. One small genuine desire to ask you. We discussed about Guru Goswami Pad and Sanatana Goswami Pad presenting themselves very humbly, genuinely very humble, and then presenting themselves that we are Adhan, we are Nish, we are Neem, Chaki, and all that. My question is how to develop the genuine desire to be humble. I'm not saying that how to become humble, no, I'm saying how to develop the genuine desire to become humble.
Well, Yashashti Bhakti Bhagavata Kinchan, by Bhagavad Bhakti, Yashashti Bhakti Bhagavata Kinchan, Shavai Gunas Tatra Samasade Shura. All of the good qualities will manifest in the character of the person who practices devotional service. So, humility. You're thinking that you're not humble, that's humility. But just before, but just reflect on our consciousness before coming to Krishna consciousness. So proud, so proud. This is the advantage of taking birth in India. It's easier to be humble, To begin with, there's so many billions of people here that you don't really feel so special. Not so special. In the Western countries, the people are so proud. That's why it's difficult to preach to them. Overly educated and proud. Everyone's opinion is so proud of their opinion in the Western countries. It's very difficult to instruct them in Krishna consciousness. It's very difficult. So humility, amanitman, adambitman, this humility, that to take advice, to surrender, that's a great qualification. Down to another person. In Western countries, they bow down to another person. They don't bow down. They don't bow down to the priests. They got rid of the priests in the. They don't have priests and gurus. Of course, Kali Yuga, even it's not relying in the Kali Yuga that the holy name is the deliverer in the Kali Yuga. We're not just relying on priests. But in the West, they dismiss the priests completely. They're the priests that they don't have. In the Catholics, there's some idea of the full-time priests, but then they're all filled with so much scandals. And in the other religions, they don't have priests. They don't have priests. Forget it. They're proud. It's very difficult for them to accept guru and surrender as representative and bow down to a person. It's very difficult. So in ISKCON, we're always bowing down. Every day we're bowing down to so many Vaishnavas. It's a bow down. So you develop the habit, and eventually it becomes part of your character that you feel you're inclined to bow down when you see the Vaishnava. So you keep bowing down. Shankya Purvaka Nama Gana Natibi. Shankya Purvaka Nam, counting the Shankya Purvaka Nam, counting the chanting, Shankya Purvaka Gan, chanting Natibi, and falling down, paying obeisances. Kalavashani Kruto. And this way they utilize their time. Sometimes thousands of times a day. I believe Raghunath Das Goswami would bow down to every Vaishnava. He would see. So bow down to the Vaishnavas, then you become humble. Mancha kalpatarushi. What is it? That Potitanam pavanebo Vaishnavabo namo namah. Potitanam pavanebo Vaishnavabo. Become purified. So bow down to the Vaishnavas and be purified. Yes?
I have a question. The comment is that I have met a lot of devotees and I myself, I had some little affinity for Lord Shiva, and then I read in Bhagwatam for Canada that Lord Shiva is saying to the Prajapats, those whom I'm actually, I'm actually blessing his devotion to Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva. So I met a lot of devotees in this one who had some affinity for Shiva and then became Krishna consciousness.
Lord Shiva is in ecstasy seeing you perform Nam Sankirtan. You become the best devotee of Lord Shiva by performing Nam Sankirtan. Hare Krishna.
My question is that this talk that the devotee of the Lord, all the qualities of divine qualities, just like devotion to Krishna. But then we also see a number of people who are not yet devotees, but they have some good qualities, and then they become devotees and those qualities become more enhanced. So, and then we also see that a few times, even when we have taken a devotion, so our bad qualities or our tabugunas, they do not go that swiftly, like they stay with us for a long period of time. So, is this a reference to a higher state of devotion that's when one gets qualities?
Prabhupada said, like trying to straighten the dog's tail. You keep straightening it, curls up again. So that's it. We're trying to purify ourselves of the material contamination, but somehow we remain contaminated. So you just keep straightening the dog's tail. That's it. Nitam Bhagavat Sevaya. Eventually it'll finally get exhausted and it'll stay straight. So that's it. Yeah, the contamination's still there. Not so easy to completely rid ourselves. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. Prayeshu. Almost completely. Something remains. Have to deal with it. Take shelter of the Lord. Chant Hare Krishna. In the end of it will be delivered. Goshando Putit Pabon. Grantat Shamad Bhagwatam ki. Shamaveta Gaud Bhaktavinda ki. Shishinita Gaud Shidanath Pramanande Hari Hari Bo.
So we're very thankful to Prabhuji. As we know, a few of us, we will not know that Prabhuji first came in Krishna consciousness.
No, please.
Prabhuji came in Krishna consciousness in 1980s. And from then Prabhuji, first joined ISKCON in Melbourne, Mahaprabhu level. So we can see how Prabhuji is Prabhuji have devotion to Mahaprabhu. That is very natural for Prabhuji. That the prayer for the goddess, the prayer for the Mahaprabhu's wife.